This is traditional. Scandal breaks out, and there was a time that the local paper would not say anything about it. They leave it alone and let the church folks and the church newspapers handle it. However, what has happened is we got church folk and church newspapers who try to cover up their mess. Then they hear about it, and then they publish it, and then, hey, now it's out there. But most journalists try to stay away, believe it or not. It's hard for you to believe. But most journalists, they try to stay out of church mess and church businesses. I really don't know the reason why, what kind of agreements were made back yonder or whatever, I don't know. But, and people they're very slow to report on church mess. Very bad. And a threat to other people. And see, and contrary to what some pastors are saying, I do not believe that the government is out to close down churches. I don't. I believe they're trying to close down this plague, this pandemic. Because most politicians know they need the church. They got to have the church. They don't want to offend the church people. They don't want to offend a church with 10 members. Have you lost your mind? They got family members as eyes and with you. They're going to come out of the church to holler at you, them to get voted in again, be they Republican, Democrat, or Independent. Most people are not interested in trying to offend. Politicians are not interested in trying to offend thousands of people that they got to try to win over and win their vote. That don't make any sense. However, governors and people in authority, they're not dummies. They're not put there because they're dummies. God is the creator of government for the benefit of the people. And they all know how faith people act when they gather together. It's nothing bad. Shaking hands. Give me a hug. I know you blessed and highly favored. I know you don't have the plague. Give me that hug. I missed that hug. And there we go. Boom. Now this person has the coronavirus plague. Lying up in the hospital. Yeah. You can hardly talk, saying, you're the only one I hugged that day. I said, you better go get yourself checked. Governors are not stupid. Mayors are not stupid. I believe most of them, you might have a few, I believe most of them are trying to stop this pandemic. And they know that folks gathering together in a church building is very dangerous considering what we got going on. That's what I believe. However, looking at the Constitution, the church can do what it wants to do. If you want to meet, you can meet, according to the Constitution. But I still don't think it's wise to do that right now because I believe that this plague is on top of the church. It's against the church. More so than the homosexuals. Now, God judged the homosexuals some years back with AIDS, and they still have that going on. There's no cure for that. This plague, I believe, is against the church because we didn't do what we were supposed to do in God's sight. That's what I believe. That's why I believe so many people are dying in the church. Now, according to Buchanan News, 28 people who attend Greystone Baptist Church in Lewisburg, West Virginia, have tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, moving back up to the top, here's some more interesting news. That you need to be aware of. According to The Week magazine, 1 American is dying of the coronavirus plague every 30 seconds. Now, either that is a lie or that's true. If it's true, you need to chill at home. You don't need to really go anywhere, especially if you're living in big cities, like so many of you do. According to Mediaite, an online publication, new CDC data suggests that the true coronavirus according to, pardon me, I'll get to that in a minute. According to the AP, the U.S. recorded its highest daily coronavirus death toll ever, over 3,157. They predicted it back in September and October, and it has come true. And they're predicting from the Thanksgiving fiasco more than that happening in a few weeks. According to the Hill magazine, the United States logged 14 million coronavirus cases. 14 million cases, less than a week after reaching 13 million coronavirus cases. Now, according to Mediaite, back to the story I was getting ready to mention, new CDC data suggests that the true coronavirus death toll is now near 400,000 instead of the lies that people have been telling us at 250,000 plus. Now, if you go back to all of these briefings, you heard me say multiple times that the government was lying, the media was lying. That's what they do. That it was well over 500,000. I told you that back several months ago. Towards 1 million. But see, they don't want you to hear that in America, because that does not fit the great America narrative. We were great, but we need to admit that we have offended God, and we're no longer great. And we'll never be great again until we quit our sin. According to the Associated Press, the number of patients in the hospital with the coronavirus plague has more than doubled over the past month to a record high of nearly over 100,000 now. Over 100,000 people. Over 100,000 people. Pushing medical centers and healthcare workers to the breaking point. And many are getting to the breaking point. One woman, she stopped going to the hospital. She just couldn't take it. She's a single mother, and she was just crying her eyes out about what she has seen and what she has experienced. And she can't take it. So she's trying to see patients online. She couldn't even get past. She couldn't even get through the interview without crying. These people have seen something. You got doctors and nurses saying that they come in the morning, and before 12 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 7 people die. It's hard to deal with, people. It's hard to take. According to the Wall Street Journal, Pfizer has cut its original coronavirus vaccine rollout target from 100 million vaccines to 50 million after supply chain troubles. The wheels are already coming off of the so-called warp speed. And the FDA is, they're not even on board, not in a hurry. According to Newsweek, is warning that January is going to be terrible, with the outbreak expected to reach its worst level yet, as hospitalizations continue to soar. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next section. As you know, tragically, there are millions of people who are hurting for basic foods. There is a food crisis in America right now like never before since the Great Depression. Nobody in America ever thought they would see 10,000 plus cars lined up to go get a box of food that most Americans can eat in one day. They showed inside a box at one of these food giveaways, and buddy, it was weak. Thank God for the card. I hope the card has some money on it. The Walmart card. And maybe that might be the best thing to do is give somebody a Walmart card, let them go get what they need, and they can stretch that card out. Because that box was weak. Thank God for it. But it was weak. This is right before Thanksgiving. My point is, those of you who are struggling right now, you don't have. I'm going to give you emails and websites and phone numbers, I think, for you to contact the people. Okay? Feeding America. Feeding America. FeedingAmerica.org. Go to the website and you can get all of the contact information you need there. But the number is 800-771-2303. Now call them, 800-771-2303. Call them. And they can tell you where to go to get food in your area. Okay? That's feedingamerica.org. Go to the website, write it down, 800-771-2303. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. If this is what you need to do, you just need to do it to take care of your children and yourself. However, I'm going to say something at the end of this that some of you are not going to like, but I want to say it anyway because I'm trying to help you. Another outfit is Meals on Wheels, but I personally would, if I were you, I would the first one first, because Meals on as to who they can deliver to. That is America.org. This is for primarily older people who can't get out now. 10 hours for your food, you go do that at someplace else. Meals on Wheels. And by the way, if you have some money, support them because they need your help. Their number is 1-888-998-6325. If you're over 60, they might be able to help you. Call them and if you can't get out, you can't go to, call them and they can bring some food to you every day. 888-998-6325. but pray for them and support them because they need more money than the other groups. Another group, of course, is the Salvation Army. SalvationArmyUSA.org. They have stations and organizations all over America.